course, it's meant, the primary audience is the children. So things which children would like to see was the first thing that I was thinking while curating. We are running this film club for children for last several years in Pune, and I really feel that children see cinema in a very different way, and they actually see it more closely, with more details, and they understand cinema much more than the grown-ups do. And the concept of children films in our country is very different. Like we feel that whoever, if there is a child in the film, it's a children film. But actually, it's not like that. I don't think that that notion is correct. I think that the children have more compassion. They have more arena to accept. They accept things very easily. They don't ask too many questions, and then they are actually interested in people, in the life and whatever actually happens. So I was trying to create a kind of a canvas which allows them to get into the lives of different landscape and stories. And I feel that the story is a good uh, medium to create an experience which kids will cherish. I think films have a great impact on the children, on the minds of the children, and they will last, because when we were kids, we, of course, we didn't have chance to go to film festivals, and we didn't have that kind of exposure towards films. But in our school, they used to screen sometimes these Charlie Chaplin films, like once in 6 months or once a year. They used to come with a projector, and that feeling of watching a film was very unique. And we all used to wait for that experience to watch a film. So all that we see, sometimes even if we don't understand, they really become a part of us. And what stories should be a part of today's children? That is always my kind of concern, which I keep thinking about. And that's why we chose these films, where there is a fantasy also, there is a yearning for something, then uh, there's a kind of playfulness also, there is competition also. At the same time, there is some kind of wanting a sort of freedom. So all these things are, in a way, a part of these films. So that's why we chose this bunch of films. The Grinding Machine is the film that we made as a part of our FTII course. It was our diploma film, and that film is something which is uh, very unique, because all my films are actually based on some kind of experiential truth, and they don't they're not just the stories, but like a part of that story is something that I've experienced in some form or the other, not exactly what we have shown in the film. So uh, so in Girni, it's like the most unique thing. What I feel about Girni is finding Madan, who has acted in that film. So he has acted in Darshan. He has acted in Darshan, and then he acted in Girni. And when I was looking for kids in the schools, uh, there was I went to some 40-50 schools, and we were looking for kids, and we were asking them to make something to perform. And when I went to this particular school called Navin Marathi Shala, and he came, and he looked, and he was in third standard, and he looked at me, of course, like this, and in his eyes I found something, like something that I just felt that it is this kid. That moment is something which I really cherish, where I felt that he should do it. Like finding Madan, and then I made this darshan with him, and then I followed him. Then we made Girni, and then I thought of making a feature film with him before he grows up into a man. So we made Vihir. So that kind of following a kid, and also you are kind of uh, traveling in a path, and then you're also seeing someone growing. That was quite interesting. Yeah, Ek Akash is made by Sudhakar Reddy, who our batchmate from FTI. and he really wanted, because his way of looking at things is very playful. There is a lot of playfulness in his films, and within that playfulness, there is still something uh, which talks about like a greater kind of scenario in terms of our society. So his film, what I liked about his film, which we were also part of making that film, is the kite flying is something which is so unique, and it's a kind of fascination for so many kids, and there is this great joy. And now so many kids are actually busy with their mobile phones, but so I wanted to kind of show something which the joy of a play, joy of doing things, and like flying the kite and doing some real thing is so different, and it's so in that sense you do something, and then by doing it you play it. So I think that with children, because I think the Sonia Samba, it's such a good fantasy. I think we should not lose the element of fantasy in our life, because that that possibility of a mind to create a fantasy, to fantasize something and to get into that fantasy, and then we don't know what is actually real and what is a fantasy. So that's something which is which grown-ups, they lose that capacity to fantasize, and I feel that for every child, the great ability to fantasize things is something which is which one should really cherish and relish. What I like about that film is the kind of innocence that the film has. I think all these films are made as when these filmmakers were trying to tell uh, the, uh, the first stories that they want to kind of share, and so there is a lot of innocence. And once you start making films, and once you kind of make films over a period of time, you lose that innocence. So it's also good to go back to that innocence, and then again kind of get some energy from that time, because we do things without really thinking much, and those are the most effective things that we do, or those are the most honest things that we do. And so I wanted to kind of screen these first films of filmmakers, and that's why I chose this film called Ode. Stories are something which will hold your hands for long time in your life. So do write stories, like whatever comes to your mind. Don't discard anything, and just write. Even if the story is foolish, even if the story is not very exciting, even if someone says that it's not a great story, don't tell it to others so much, but keep writing the stories and keep sharing stories, keep telling stories to people, because stories will save us in some way. So that's my kind of humble kind of sharing with the kids. I would like to really congratulate Kiran Nadar Museum of Arts for initiating this effort. I think it's a great effort to showcase these different short films uh, for children. I think because of the COVID situation, we started this activity, but it should not stop, because this is one way where we can screen a lot of great content to kids, and it will definitely shape up. It will help shaping up their lives and their creativity. And so I think this should continue, and really happy that that you have started this initiative.